Thank you for the opportunity to share about Deaf Youth Ministries. What I will share with you today will be completely new to most of you. Some of the information will be surprising, and some of it will be disconcerting. But most of all, I am hoping that what I say will be compelling, that you will walk away truly understanding how precious deaf and hard of hearing young people are to our Lord, and how God is using Deaf Youth Ministries in powerful ways to address the needs of this often overlooked population. Our hope is that after hearing our message, you will join us in sharing God's vision for reaching deaf and hard of hearing young people. I'm sure you've heard of Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf. Helen observed that blindness separates you from things, but deafness separates you from people. In other words, if you are deaf, you have a communication barrier that can lead to isolation in your family, in your school, in your community, and in your church. Think about how you would feel if you could not participate in the conversations around you. Imagine being 7 years old or 17 and feeling this isolation. How do you make sense of life? How do you learn problem-solving skills in relationships? How can you understand something as abstract as a personal relationship with the God of the universe through His Son, Jesus Christ? Did you know that deafness impacts 1 out of 1,000 kids? That translates to 44,000 kids and young people in the United States. What would it be like? Well, your parents would probably not be able to communicate very well with you. Most deaf kids have hearing parents, and more than 90% of these parents never learn to sign. That means that most deaf kids have significant communication barriers in their own families. The vast majority of deaf kids do not attend church. Most of them are biased against any religious faith, due in part to painful experiences related to church. And as a result, very few deaf kids, or deaf adults for that matter, claim a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. The most frequent statistic cited here is fewer than 2%. Enter Deaf Youth Ministries, equipping and working with other evangelical organizations and with churches to reach deaf young people through cutting-edge programs, resources, training, and direct services. Truly bringing together the best of youth ministry with the best of deaf ministry. There are 2 components to the hands-on part of the ministry. Deaf Teen Quest, that's DT Quest, is the primary outreach arm of the ministry, and Deaf Teen Connect is the primary integration arm, which works to effectively bring deaf kids into the local church. Let's take a brief look at each component. DT Quest is a ministry where teams of Christian adults from various denominations work together to reach deaf young people by building relationships with them, mentoring them, and earning their trust for sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. DT Quest leaders primarily use American Sign Language, but at the same time they are flexible to the young person's personal communication preferences. In January of 2008, we were excited to learn that Youth for Christ, that's YFC, made the decision to use DT Quest as its official outreach program to deaf young people. We see this as a major opportunity to establish our ministry in many more areas across the country and to reach many more deaf kids for Jesus Christ. So we have formed a partnership with YFC, where YFC will have exclusive use of the DT Quest name, and Deaf Youth Ministries will provide ongoing supervision, expertise, and programming options to YFC. We have moved our 15 active DT Quest areas already in place across the nation into the YFC structure. This includes some 20 leaders who serve on YFC's DT Quest staff and approximately 50 other YFC DT Quest volunteer leaders. In addition to providing leadership for Deaf Youth Ministries, Bob Ayres is now serving YFC as a national liaison for Deaf Teen Ministry. As we look ahead, we will actively work together with YFC to expand the DT Quest ministry and establish new areas across the country. Now let's take a look at DT Connect, the arm of Deaf Youth Ministries, which addresses the need to effectively integrate deaf young people into local churches. Many churches want to minister to deaf youth or to individuals with deaf relatives or friends, and they simply don't know how to do it. To meet this need, we got together with Deaf Missions, an international Christian mission organization which offers deaf ministry resources for churches, and we have partnered together to form DT Connect. DT Connect trains and qualifies churches to do excellent ministry with deaf kids and offers those churches the opportunity to access specialized resources for this purpose. It also provides opportunity to collaborate with DT Quest to reach deaf youth and integrate them into the fellowship of the church. DT Connect churches become part of a ministry association, giving them the opportunity to network with each other. Let me briefly show you some of the programs which we use to equip DT Quest and DT Connect leaders and to minister directly to deaf kids. First of all, we offer summer programs. For example, we plan and coordinate adventure camps so deaf kids get to know Jesus Christ. We also offer grow camps to encourage them to grow in their faith, and then we offer mission trips to build Christian maturity through service to others. Additionally, we make mentoring programs available for connecting, caring Christian adults with deaf kids. DeafYouth Ministries also offers cutting-edge deaf ministry training. One way we do this is through an annual convention which focuses on the special challenges associated with ministry to deaf kids. We also make mainstream youth ministry training available to deaf leaders. We do this by arranging for interpreters as well as closed captioning for videos and other presentations. The last way we are using this to develop and grow well-qualified deaf leaders is to collaborate with Southeast Bible College to offer deaf leaders the opportunity to earn a college degree in Bible studies with a focus on deaf ministry and leadership. In addition to camping programs and special training, DeafYouth Ministries also offers other specialized resources, including videos, books, and other materials. So what is the desired outcome of our ministry? Changed lives. Here is a video that shows you the diversity of deaf and hard of hearing kids. Different signing styles, different races, different families, different parts of the community, but all with a common need to know God created them, loves them, and wants a personal relationship with them.
Okay, I still left the world. His son Jesus